Why do men across the world typically live 5 to 7 years shorter than women? This is a reality repeated not only in Vietnam, but also in the US, Japan, and Europe. Many are quick to attribute the cause to alcohol, smoking, or work pressure. However, scientific reality shows that these things are just the tip of the iceberg. More alarmingly, men's lifespans are being shortened every day by seemingly normal habits that feel harmless, yet are silently destroying the body from within. Some of these habits can cut life short by 10 to 12 years. And most men are guilty of them. In this article, we will go straight to a detailed analysis of the 7 most dangerous habits that are shortening men's longevity, ordered from least to most harmful. Some causes are sure to surprise you, as few realize they are more destructive than even alcohol or smoking. 7. Lack of natural light exposure. Surprisingly, staying indoors and a lack of natural light exposure is one of the silent culprits shortening lifespan. The human body operates on a 24-hour circadian rhythm. Each morning, sunlight is the start button that helps the biological clock in the brain reset the time for the entire body. When you stay confined indoors, exposed only to weak artificial light, your biological clock becomes disrupted. The consequence: you feel sluggish and tired during the day, and have difficulty sleeping at night. Prolonged restless sleep leads to a chain of consequences: a weak immune system, high blood pressure, uncontrolled blood sugar, and a sharp increase in cardiovascular risk. Natural light also plays a role in producing vitamin D. This is the fundamental substance for strong bones, calcium absorption, and proper immune system function. When light is insufficient, vitamin D levels plummet, increasing the risk of osteoporosis, muscle loss, diabetes, and even depression. One study on tens of thousands of men showed that those with vitamin D deficiency had a risk of early death that was 26% higher. Not only that, light also affects blood pressure and heart health. UVA rays can stimulate the body to release nitric oxide, a compound that helps dilate blood vessels and lower blood pressure. Chronic lack of sun causes these protective mechanisms to become almost paralyzed or severely weakened. Notably, daylight also helps produce serotonin, a neurotransmitter directly related to mood and alertness. You can clearly see that on days you take a walk in the morning sun. Your spirit is lifted, you focus more easily, and you even eat and exercise more moderately. So, the solution is very simple, yet extremely effective. After waking up, within the first hour, go outside, breathe fresh air, and let your eyes see the sky for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Around noon, if possible, spend 5 to 10 minutes in the sun to synthesize vitamin D, being careful to avoid sunburn. In the evening, take a few minutes to walk outdoors to reinforce your circadian rhythm, helping you fall asleep easier when night falls. Importantly, turn off blue light from your phone and TV before bed to avoid disrupting what natural light established during the day. Just maintaining these 3 light exposures, you will see noticeable changes in your body: deeper sleep, a clearer mind, and more stable blood pressure and blood sugar. Lack of light may seem harmless, but it is actually a silent, life-shortening killer that many men are unaware of. 6. Lack of sleep. Sleep is not just for resting, it is when the body repairs, restores, and regenerates itself. Yet, many men treat sleep as something they can cut short. Working late into the night, gluing their eyes to their phones before bed, or relying on coffee and alcohol to drag themselves through the day. The result is short, restless sleep, and the body is forced to wake up before it has fully recovered. After just one night of sleeping less than 6 hours, the immune system is reduced by about 30%. This condition makes you more susceptible to the flu and causes wounds to heal more slowly. More dangerously, Lack of sleep disrupts the hormones that control appetite. Specifically, leptin, the hormone that creates a feeling of fullness, decreases, while ghrelin, the hormone that stimulates appetite, increases. Therefore, sleep-deprived individuals often eat more, especially sweets and fats. That is why lack of sleep is directly linked to weight gain, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Furthermore, lack of sleep increases the secretion of cortisol, the stress hormone. Blood pressure is consequently always higher than normal. Blood vessels tend to harden, and the heart has to work harder. A large study showed that men who sleep less than 6 hours per night have a lifespan up to 7 years shorter than those who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. The brain is also a direct victim. During deep sleep, the brain performs trash removal, eliminating the protein beta amyloid, the culprit behind Alzheimer's disease. When sleep is chronically insufficient, this cleansing process is delayed. This is why sleep-deprived men often forget things, lack focus, and are easily irritable. So how do you escape this vicious cycle? The solution is not complicated. Establish fixed bedtimes and wake-up times, even on weekends. Avoid using phones or computers for 1 to 2 hours before bed. Keep the bedroom cool and quiet, with an ideal temperature of about 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Limit coffee after 2 p.m. and absolutely do not use alcohol to aid sleep, as alcohol only causes multiple awakenings during restless sleep. If you sleep sufficiently and consistently, your blood pressure will be more stable, and blood sugar easier to control. Most importantly, the body truly recovers. If you don't sleep enough, the body declines faster every day without you even realizing it. 5. Chronic stress. Stress is a natural reaction of the body to protect us in dangerous situations. But when this state lasts for months, even years, it becomes a silent toxin that destroys health. Every time you are stressed, the body secretes cortisol. In the short term, cortisol helps us stay alert and react quickly. But when cortisol levels are constantly high, the body is in a state of continuous false alarm. Blood vessels contract, blood pressure rises, and the heart beats rapidly. Over time, the arterial walls become hardened, easily crack, and form plaque, paving the way for myocardial infarction, heart attack, or stroke. Not only the cardiovascular system, the immune system also weakens significantly. You may notice that when stress is prolonged, you are more susceptible to the flu, sore throats, and even small wounds take longer to heal. This is because cortisol inhibits the activity of white blood cells. Furthermore, cortisol also increases blood sugar, forcing the pancreas to work harder, thereby increasing the risk of diabetes. Chronic stress also strongly affects the brain and male hormones. It reduces the production of testosterone, causing muscles to gradually weaken and vitality to decline. The brain becomes disrupted, memory drops, and moods are erratic. A long-term study at Harvard University showed that men living under high stress have a lifespan 4 years shorter on average compared to those with low stress. It is worth mentioning that men often have a habit of internalizing their worries. Because society often views expressing emotions as weakness, many choose to remain silent. Unfortunately, silence does not make stress disappear. Instead, it only causes it to accumulate and become heavier. So, how to lighten this burden? Acknowledge that you are stressed, instead of trying to deny it. Share with family, friends, or colleagues instead of carrying it alone. Exercise regularly. Even a brisk 30-minute walk helps reduce cortisol. Maintain personal hobbies, music, reading, gardening, any activity that helps the mind unwind. Stress is unavoidable in life, but how we manage it determines our lifespan. If you let it gnaw at your body day after day, you are unintentionally shortening your years of good health. 4. Alcohol. In many gatherings, alcohol is often seen as a catalyst for friendship and business. However, behind the boisterous cheers, alcohol is one of the culprits shortening men's lifespan faster than you think. Our liver can only break down about 10 milliliters of alcohol per hour. Meanwhile, a bottle of soju or a few large beers contain many times that amount of alcohol. When you drink excessively over 1 to 2 hours, the liver cannot process it quickly enough, forcing the body to be soaked in a high concentration of alcohol for many hours. That is why the common, bottoms-up, drinking culture in Vietnam is much more dangerous than moderate, steady drinking in some Western countries. The first consequence is an overloaded liver. Liver cells are damaged, gradually turning into scar tissue. If this continues for many years, the risk of cirrhosis, even liver cancer, will skyrocket. But the liver is not the only organ affected. Alcohol increases triglycerides, blood fats, in the blood, causing fat deposits in the arterial walls, thereby increasing the risk of myocardial infarction and stroke. More alarmingly, alcohol also has a direct impact on the brain. Heavy drinking weakens the white matter in the brain, leading to reduced memory, slow reflexes, and a significantly higher risk of dementia later in life. Not a few men think, "I'm good at drinking," or "I have a high tolerance, so it's fine." But in reality, the body does not understand the concept of a high alcohol tolerance. Every unit of alcohol must be processed, and the cumulative damage spares no one. According to the World Health Organization, alcohol can reduce the average male lifespan by about 2.5 years. This number may seem small, but for heavy drinkers, the consequence can be the loss of decades of life. The solution to limit the harm is not absolute prohibition, but smart control. Dedicate at least 2 days a week completely alcohol-free so the liver can rest. Each time you drink, do not exceed 2 units of alcohol, equivalent to 1 can of beer or a small glass of wine. After drinking, ensure the body has time to recover. Absolutely do not repeat this for multiple consecutive days. Alcohol can bring short-term joy, but the long-term price is health, and even lifespan. If you want to live a long and healthy life, you need to look directly at this truth and learn to say, enough, before it is too late. 3. Social isolation. Few would think that loneliness could kill faster than even many chronic diseases. But science has proven that a lack of social connection can be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. For men, this is one of the most silent yet powerful factors shortening life. Humans are naturally herd animals. Our brains and bodies are programmed to need connection. When you are separated from your social circle, the body treats it as a danger signal, triggering a prolonged stress response. The consequence is an increase in chronic inflammation in the body, faster damage to blood vessels, and a higher risk of cancer. Furthermore, isolation weakens the immune system. Studies show that men living alone are more susceptible to infectious diseases. And when they do get sick, the recovery time is also slower. The rate of depression in socially isolated men is 3 to 4 times higher than in those with a solid network of friends and family. It is particularly worrisome that men are often more likely to fall into this state than women. Women often maintain social relationships even after retirement, while most of men's connections are tied to their jobs. Once they stop working, that network quickly vanishes, leaving behind a silent void. Many people daily confine themselves at home, turn on the TV, and let time pass in isolation. Isolation also affects basic habits. People living alone often eat poorly, exercise less, and skip regular checkups. All these factors combine to make old age a burden both physically and mentally. How to fight this silent disease? The solution lies in daily connections. Maintain family relationships, shared meals, intimate and warm conversations. Proactively meet friends. Even once a month is enough to stay connected. Join clubs, classes, volunteer activities, any environment with a sense of belonging. And importantly, open up to meeting new people. Don't be afraid to start a relationship at any age. Loneliness not only leaves the heart empty, but also causes the biological heart to weaken faster. If you want to live long and healthy, you need to maintain these connection threads, as they are the natural and free elixir of life that nature has bestowed upon us. 2. Lack of large muscle movement. When talking about exercise, many think that a few walks or a few stretches are enough. However, science shows that not using large muscle groups, especially leg and back muscles, is one of the powerful factors shortening men's lifespan. Muscles are not just for movement. They are like a giant endocrine organ, secreting a series of hormones and proteins called myokines. These substances help regulate blood sugar, fight inflammation, protect the cardiovascular system, and even prevent cancer. When muscle mass decreases, these protective mechanisms also vanish. Men typically begin to lose muscle after age 30, at an average rate of 3 to 5% per decade, if they don't exercise to maintain it. By age 60, many lose more than 25% of their muscle mass compared to their youth. This is not just about appearance, it is a matter of survival. A study on over 80,000 men showed that those with more muscle mass lived 15 to 20% longer than those who were thin and weak, regardless of their weight. Muscle loss also means a reduced metabolism. Muscles are like the largest energy furnace in the body. Less muscle means poor calorie burning, hard to control blood sugar, and accumulated visceral fat. That is the shortest path to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and obesity. In particular, leg muscles play a key role. When you walk, run, or lift weights with your legs, these large muscles activate blood circulation from the legs back to the heart. If the leg muscles are weak, circulation is poor, blood will stagnate in the veins, sharply increasing the risk of blood clots forming, a leading cause of stroke and pulmonary embolism. So what is the solution? No need to become an athlete. Just focus on exercises that mobilize large muscle groups. Squats, lunges, brisk walking, climbing stairs to keep leg muscles strong. Push-ups, planks, light weightlifting to maintain back, chest, and abdominal muscles. Engage in strength training at least 2 to 3 sessions per week, in addition to walking or cardio exercise. The stronger the muscles, the longer the lifespan. Conversely, allowing muscles to gradually atrophy means losing the protective shield that nature gave you. On the outside, it may just look like reduced strength, but inside, the entire immune system, cardiovascular system, and brain are deteriorating faster every day. 1. Excessive sitting. Sitting may seem harmless, but it is considered the silent poison of the 21st century. Studies tracking hundreds of thousands of people show that men who sit for over 8 hours a day have a risk of death up to 60% higher than those who exercise regularly. On average, this one habit alone can shorten the lifespan by about 12 years. Why is excessive sitting so dangerous? When you sit for too long, the body immediately switches to energy-saving mode. The metabolic rate sharply decreases, and blood circulation slows down. Muscles, especially the leg and back muscles, gradually shrink because they are not being used. The consequence is reduced calorie burning capacity, elevated blood sugar, and fat accumulation in the blood. This is the gateway to diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Furthermore, prolonged sitting causes a host of other silent consequences. Veins in the legs experience blood pooling, making it easy for blood clots to form. The risk of cancer increases, especially colorectal and prostate cancer, due to slow circulation and chronic inflammation. Sleep disorders because the body is not tired enough to easily enter deep sleep. Mental decline. Serotonin levels decrease, making you prone to feeling sluggish, bored, and even depressed. The scary thing is that most men are falling into this trap without realizing it. They sit at a desk for 8 hours during the day, then sit on the sofa watching TV in the evening, plus time spent driving or scrolling through their phone. In total, they may sit for over 12 hours a day. The solution is not to get rid of your office chair, but to smartly divide your movement. The 30-to-2 rule, after every 30 minutes of sitting, stand up and walk around or stretch for at least 2 minutes. Take a 20-minute walk at noon to help with digestion and activate circulation. Use the stairs instead of the elevator if you are going less than 3 floors. Stand while talking on the phone or doing light tasks to reduce total sitting time. Combine entertainment with exercise. Watching TV can be done while walking in place or using an exercise machine in the living room. With just these small changes, the body will respond very quickly: stronger muscles, stable blood sugar, a clear mind, and deeper sleep. Excessive sitting is the #1 culprit shortening men's lifespan, but it is also something we can completely control, starting today. Summary and call to action. You have just gone through the 7 silent yet extremely dangerous causes that are cutting short men's lifespan. Cause number 7. Lack of natural light exposure. Disrupting the circadian rhythm, causing vitamin D deficiency, and increasing the risk of heart disease and depression. Cause number 6. Lack of sleep. Destroying the immune system, disrupting hormones, and accelerating brain and heart aging. Cause number 5. Chronic stress. Causing constantly high cortisol, leading to vascular hardening, diabetes, and decreased testosterone. Cause number 4. Alcohol. Overloading the liver, increasing blood fats, damaging the heart and brain, and paving the way for cancer. Cause number 3. Social isolation. As dangerous as smoking, causing chronic inflammation, weakening the immune system, and depression. Cause number 2. Lack of large muscle movement, causing muscle atrophy, slow metabolism, and increasing the risk of diabetes and stroke. Cause number 1. Excessive sitting. The silent killer that shortens life by up to a decade, causing comprehensive damage from blood vessels and muscles to mental health. If a person has all 7 of these habits, their lifespan could be shortened by 30 to 35 years. But conversely, if you proactively make changes, your lifespan can be extended by a similar number of years. And more importantly, those will be years lived healthily and fully. The key thing to remember is that longevity does not decline in a single day. Nor can it be restored overnight. Everything is determined by small choices, repeated every single day. So, where can you start? Try 3 things today. After finishing this, stand up and walk around for at least 2 minutes. Tonight, go to bed 30 minutes earlier than usual. And call or text a relative or friend you haven't been in touch with for a while. These simple actions are the beginning of a longer and healthier life. If you want to continue receiving practical and helpful health knowledge, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications, and share this video with more people. Because a small change today can save a decade of health in the future.